Welcome to Transform Today and Do It Again Tomorrow, the podcast that helps you dig deeper into each day to get you unstuck, take your life off autopilot, and just have more fun by being your authentic self. This is episode number 13, 3 questions to find your purpose. Hey, it's Rebecca. I am a certified life coach who focuses on overall wellness and creating balance and contentment in your life. And when I talk to clients, one of the most common topics we stumble upon is always purpose. It's that big buzzword. What is my purpose? Why am I here? What am I doing? We can feel stuck or like we're not ourselves when we feel like our life has no purpose, right? Or we're just kind of going through the motions. No one wants to feel like that, but I feel like we've all been there, right? We're just doing this thing day to day, and we're not exactly lit up. So today we're going to work on that. We're going to help you figure out what your purpose is, and I'll help you realize that A, you already know what your purpose is. That's good news, right? You already know it. And B, that your purpose can be several things. Your purpose can be what you do in life, but also how you do it. Knowing your purpose means knowing what you're wired to do, right? It's like what your soul has to do. And knowing what your passion is and what gifts you bring to others and how you make them feel. Those things are all included in this big ball of wax called purpose. When you know your purpose, you can make those things be what guides you forward, okay? So figuring that out, gosh, that sounds like a lot of work, right? That's pretty out there and big. But like I said, it's already inside of you. And if you're like most people, you've either forgotten your purpose or you overlooked it because you thought, that's just too small. It's not impressive. Or you're ignoring it because it's just too scary to change your life to live aligned with your purpose. Okay, so those are things to think about. You might assume discovering your purpose is going to be this big magical moment where every puzzle piece falls into place and like the mystery of life is solved in one neat and tiny interaction, right? Like, okay, I get it now. Life makes sense. And that sounds really lovely and romantic. And maybe that is the case for some people. Maybe their purpose in life is revealed with such clarity and color that there's no denying it, right? They have these moments of like, aha, I know that's why I'm here. I just felt it. Or some people know what they want to do with their lives since they were little. Like they've known their whole lives they want to do this thing. They felt it in their bones and they felt it in their souls and they live it without hesitation or having to ask themselves what their purpose is. That's wonderful. That's great that does happen. But I want you to remember you're not alone if you're not one of those people. Okay, I'm not one of those people. Life is a constant journey and we're kind of learning each day and we're changing each day. So it's good to check in with yourself. So for a lot of people, we sort of assume, I don't know what my purpose is. And not knowing, that feels really frustrating and it feels like you're alone, right? We assume we're the only ones that have no idea and everyone else has it figured out. Or maybe that's just me and my paranoia. But it's really difficult when you're like, what is my purpose? I don't know. I want to know. And you kind of get hung up on the not knowing part. The not knowing, the unknowing leads to frustration, wondering, am I even living the right life? Am I going down the right path? Why am I here? Oftentimes people are waiting for their big aha moment, right? But most times the moments of realization about what our purpose is, they're far less dramatic. They're tiny little moments. And we just get hints of it, right? Hints of what our purpose might be in these small moments. If we live each day on a quest to find our purpose, the good news is we're going to find it. But it often comes in doses. It's like a thread. You're pulling on a thread of like, aha, I like that. Aha, I felt like myself in that moment. Okay, keep pulling, keep pulling. Also, even when we're looking for our purpose, we got to remember to be totally open to ideas that surprise us. And to remember this work we're going to talk about today has to be done continually throughout your life to see where you are. Because again, we're all changing and working toward new things. So your purpose can grow or change into something new, but it's only going to happen if you listen and you check in with yourself, right? And you can't ignore it. So let's get to it then. the first thing I want you to do to uncover or rediscover what your purpose is without thinking, say out loud right now what you love doing. I don't care if you're driving. I don't care where you are. What do you love doing? What do you love doing? What comes first to your mind? And don't edit yourself. Don't say, oh, that's stupid. I can never make money with that. I don't care. I don't care. It's not about money. What do you love doing? When do you feel like you're lost in the moment and just time flies by because you're tapped into, you're running on all cylinders. You're tapped into the zone. So this is a really good starting point to figure out what your purpose is. So think about that. And I want you to go back to these questions after the podcast to really take some time. As always, I'm a writer. I believe in the power of writing. Sit down for 10 minutes and really write it out. Because you'll be surprised what comes out. What's in your brain and in your thoughts oftentimes doesn't make it out into the real world. It gets suffocated because you don't let it out. So sit down after the podcast, write about what you love doing. When do you feel lost in the moment? And maybe this is what you already do at your job. You're very lucky then if you're like, oh yeah, my purpose, my passion, the things I love are this, and this, and I've already built my career on that. That's great. But maybe it has nothing to do with your job. And guess what? Both are okay. I think people, again, they often get hung up on, well, I'm not making money at my purpose. That's okay. You might start changing your life to work towards that, or you might start finding ways to implement your purpose and how you do your job. And we'll talk more about that in next week's episode about now that you know your purpose, what do you do with it? So just as a starting point, remember what you love doing may or may not be your day job, and that's okay. So as you're searching for your purpose, don't think your list is silly. Sometimes we're like, oh, that's stupid. I like gardening. Who cares? I don't care. Put it down. Write down what you love. Something very small on your list, that could be like the breadcrumb that takes you to your bigger answer of how you do that thing every day to start to connect with others, okay? So we're not looking to solve the mysteries of the world with this one question. We're just looking for hints, like I said, little breadcrumbs to lead us to bigger answers. And as is the case with everything with life coaching, it takes action. So these questions are just starting points to get you to take action, to now take this knowledge to move you forward. And some things that are common might be like, on your list might be helping others. I love hosting dinner parties, having fun. I love being a leader. I love spending time with my family, listening to music. Now, your list, I'm hoping, is going to go on and on about things that make you happy and you feel like they come easily to you, okay? So just jot them down, what makes you happy. But we can't just stop there. This list doesn't tell us what your purpose is just yet, right? It's just a nice list. It's a diving board into answers that are going to start to come alive as you live each day, noticing. That's the big word. You start noticing more and more how and when you feel lit up in your work and your play. And I've described this before. Life coaching it's taking a step off of the adulting conveyor belt is what I call it. You're taking a step off of it. You're objectively hovering over it and noticing just for a few minutes, like, oh, I really was happy right there. I like doing that. What does that mean? And again, the important part of this list is going to be finding the things that help you connect with others and help you make sense of who you are and how you fit into the bigger picture. That's the big part of it, connecting with others. And even if you're an introvert like me, your purpose comes into focus when you don't keep your gifts to yourself. I'm going to say it again for those in the back. Even if you're an introvert, I tend to be an introvert. I love people, but I need my quiet corner with the book every night. Your purpose comes into focus when you don't keep your gifts to yourself. So if I love to write and I just write at home and no one else ever reads my writing, I'm going to feel stuck. I'm going to feel like, I don't know how I fit into this world because I'm only writing for myself. I'm not doing the vulnerable act of sharing it. But we're going to talk about that next week. I'm skipping ahead because I get so excited about purpose. It's such an awesome topic. Now, again, this doesn't mean you have to be shouting your passion from the rooftops. I love to write. I'm going to change the world. Nope. You can be connecting with just one person, and that might be enough for you. So again, we're going to talk about find your flavor. whatever works for you is perfect. So thinking about what you love doing and the times in your life when time flies by for you, that's my first question. But this next question, it is a little morbid, but I ask it only to be helpful. Again, I said I'm an honest coach who pushes you. I like to be real. I think this question is helpful. The question is, what will people say about you at your funeral? Right? Sorry, but it's good to think about. Now, we know that people only say good things at funerals, right? Hopefully, if you did it well. So I'm asking you, what good things are you going to be remembered for? Think about that. Now, this list is a little different than the first list. It's going to help you look at your purpose from another vantage point. And it's a vantage point I think is completely helpful. It's looking back on your life. Not waiting till you're at the end to look back, but predicting now, as you look back, how is it going to look? You'll see through this question that your purpose is really all about living life as your authentic self. People at your funeral, they're going to see you being yourself throughout your life, right? They will have seen you being totally authentic with them if they're your close friends and family. It's how you laugh, how you connect with people, how you make that special recipe for the family reunion. It's how you take risks and have big ideas, how you love deeply and make everyone feel special, how you love nature and adventures. This list you're going to come up with, they're not huge things, right? But they're unique things. They're unique to you. What's unique to you? People at your funeral, they're not going to really talk about your accomplishments at work from a success standpoint, but they will always talk about how you carried yourself, how you did your work, and how you made people feel. They're not going to say, "Ooh, she was so good at reaching deadlines." Like, that doesn't make the headline at a funeral, right? I'm glad that you're good at deadlines and showing up to work on time, but it's how you express yourself, how you give your gift away to others. There's going to be a lot of talk about your personality at your funeral, and this is helpful info to know today, right? And side note, it kind of it bugs me that we don't know these things today, right? I don't want all that juicy, those wonderful thoughts about me to be saved until I'm dead. All right, I want to know them now. I'm sort of annoying in this way because sometimes when my husband or my kids tell me, "I love you," I'll say, "Okay, what about me do you love? I want to know." I just really want to know. And I'm asking them, what do you love about me? Like, what about me do you love? Because I want to make sure they see the same person that I hope is coming out of me. I don't want to assume that I'm doing a good job or they're feeling the way I want them to feel. I want them to tell me, "How do you know I love you?" That's just a side note of me. You might want to try that yourself. Don't wait till your funeral to figure out what people liked about you. Go ahead and ask. It's like those bumper stickers, "How's my driving?" If truck drivers can ask, "How's my driving?" I can ask, "What do you like about me?" Okay, so now we combine these two questions, and we should have a pretty long list of things we love doing and things we know people will be saying about our personalities and how we lived life. Okay? So this last question is kind of twofold, and it's this. What do you have such a passion for or vast knowledge of that you can't imagine keeping that to yourself? Or another way to think of it is, what do you want people to see in you that you're not letting them see yet? Both these questions are kind of a way to get to the same answer, but I like to offer different ways of asking it so it lands differently with different people. So as you answer these questions, I need you to be honest. That's always the case. Don't create an answer just to have an answer, and don't lie and say something just to be impressive. I'll be super mad at you. I don't like inauthenticity. It doesn't get us anywhere. So be honest and answer very honestly. Again, so what do you have such a passion for, or vast knowledge of that you can't imagine keeping that info to yourself? Or what do you want people to see in you that you're not letting them see yet? Here's an example. Maybe you're a lawyer, and insert any job there. Maybe you're a lawyer, a bus driver, a teacher, a yoga instructor, a police officer. Maybe you're that thing and you do love your job. and you know you're killing it, but you also love to make vegetarian meals at home. So maybe your list might be, I love nutrition and telling people it's easy to cook vegetarian. So being an amazing lawyer, teacher, bus driver, police officer, yoga instructor, all those things, maybe being that's still your purpose. But knowing you've got this other thing behind the curtain waiting for you, that's such glorious knowledge, right? And you can't tap into that until you slow down and ask yourself. So another way to ask this third question is, what's behind the curtain that people aren't seeing in you that you'd like them to see? Okay? Think about that. What's behind there? What do you think about that you're just not tapping into? Now, too many times we assume this has to equate to like earning an income, and it just doesn't. It does not. Give yourself a break and know that your purpose in life is spread out across multiple buckets, and each day might draw from a different bucket. Isn't that nice to know? I'll say it again. Give yourself a break. Know that your purpose in life is spread out across multiple buckets. Each day might draw from a different bucket. So what's that going to mean from you? It means you're going to be curious. You got to slow down and take a look at your life. Don't just go on autopilot. Like, what do you need from me today, world? How can I help? How can I help? So knowing that kind of gives you permission to loosen up a bit, right? And again, be curious. That's a really good word for this. Be curious. It helps open your eyes and you see how you fit into the world and how you can really serve others. And again, serving others, it's scientifically proven to be a wonderful ingredient to a happy life. And when we know we fit and we make sense of it all, it's natural to find more meaning and joy in life, right? It makes sense. And none of us are satisfied with just existing alone, right? And having nothing that attaches us to others or helps us feel we're needed or valued. If we don't feel we're needed or valued, of course our lives are going to be lukewarm and just gray. So finding your purpose, how it relates to other people, will completely change your life if you do the work. And it's easy work. All you got to do is think about these 3 questions this week as you go through life. Slow down, jot down times when you feel content, fulfilled, or lit up by your work and your interactions with other people. And again, you're looking for your authentic self and you're giving yourself permission to be more and more of that person each day. What a gift, right? That is the gift of life. Be that person you were wired to be. So do the work this week to uncover clues about what makes you happy, what your friends and family would say about you, and what you want others to know from or about you. What's behind the curtain? The work to uncover your purpose, you guys, it's actually pretty easy. Isn't that great to know? But it's not always a one and done sort of deal. In the next episode, I'm going to talk with you about what to do now that your purpose is kind of coming more into focus. And it's going to come into focus if you do the work this week. My goal is to make this work really accessible to you and not make it so out there and unattainable. Sometimes that's why it feels lonely, like, oh, I don't know what my purpose is. Well, yeah, that's a big thing to talk about, but let's digest it bit by bit. What is your purpose? How do you find it? It's easy if you take the steps every day. So please, again, do the work this week to dig in and see your purpose that you're going to find was there the whole time. Thank you so much for listening. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. Please subscribe, forward this to a friend who might have been complaining to you this week of how they might feel unfulfilled in life. Forward it to them and say, hey, I thought about you. I hope this helps. Leave a rating on the podcast so others who might benefit can find the podcast as well. Now, my purpose is to share this information with you and make wellness a part of your everyday life and to help you find your purpose and potential. Have a great week. You're awesome.